Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a sweet little girl who lived in a village. Everyone loved her, but her grandmother loved her the most and gave her a present, a beautiful red velvet cloak with a hood. Because she wore it everywhere, people began calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "Grandmother is sick in bed. Take this basket of fresh bread and wine to her cottage in the woods. Stay on the path and do not speak to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood happily agreed, put on her bright red hood, and set off towards the forest. The path through the woods was lovely, and Little Red Riding Hood soon forgot her mother's warning. She stopped to pick beautiful flowers and chase butterflies. While she was distracted, a big sly wolf appeared from behind a tree. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said in a smooth voice. The girl, forgetting that she shouldn't talk to strangers, replied, "Good morning, wolf. Where are you going so early?" he asked. "I am going to visit my sick grandmother," she answered. "She lives in the cottage beyond the mill, under the 3 big oak trees." The wolf, licking his lips, thought quickly, "What lovely flowers you have. Why don't you pick some more for your grandmother? I will go ahead and keep her company." Little Red Riding Hood thought this was a wonderful idea. She wandered off the path to gather a large bouquet. Meanwhile, the wolf ran the shortest distance directly to the grandmother's cottage. He knocked on the door. "Who is there?" the old woman called out, weakened by her sickness. "It is Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, disguising his voice. "I have brought you bread and wine. Just lift the latch and come in, my dear," the grandmother replied. The wolf opened the door, jumped inside, and swallowed the poor grandmother whole in one gulp. Then he quickly put on the grandmother's nightgown and cap, climbed into bed, and pulled the curtains around him. A little later, Little Red Riding Hood arrived. The cottage looked strangely quiet. She pushed the door open. "Good morning, grandmother," she said. "Come closer, my dear," the wolf mumbled from under the covers. Little Red Riding Hood approached the bed. She immediately noticed something was wrong. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "And, grandmother, what big ears you have. The better to hear you with, my child." "But, grandmother," she cried, "what big teeth you have. The better to eat you with," the wolf shouted. He threw back the covers and, with another quick gulp, swallowed Little Red Riding Hood, too. Then, full and satisfied, the wolf fell asleep with a loud snore. Luckily, a huntsman was passing by the cottage. Hearing the loud snores, he grew curious. He entered and immediately recognized the big bad wolf in the grandmother's bed. He knew exactly what the wolf had done. The huntsman carefully took his sharp knife and cut open the wolf's belly. Out popped Little Red Riding Hood, followed by her grandmother. Both were scared but perfectly fine. To punish the wolf, they filled his belly with heavy stones. When the wolf woke up and tried to run away, the stones were too heavy, and he stumbled and fell, never to bother anyone again. Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson that day: never stray from the path, and never trust strangers. She and her grandmother enjoyed the bread and wine, and they all lived happily ever after.